and you're gonna be
I'm
doing some video work for me. And that got me started in video. After that, let me go ahead and click this so it'll go away. Got it. And then after that, another friend of mine was like, "Hey, Carl, I need I got a bunch of prompts to do, and I need someone to take some pictures." I'm like, his name was John. I was like, "John, I do video and sound. I don't know nothing about pictures." They're like, "Carl, but you know composition. You know how to frame a shot, how to make sure everything looks good within that shot. I'm gonna have all the settings on the camera for you. You don't have to do anything but just pull that trigger." And I was like, okay, no problem. Got me started. And it was a blast. I added photography to the mix. So as I'm doing all these things, helping all these people, still not necessarily calling myself an entrepreneur or doing that, because I was working at Sam Ash Music in their sound audio department. I was assistant manager there. I had more jobs. The old joke, you was a Jamaican, you had all these jobs. I was a doorman. I was a house cleaner. This was years and years ago. Those toilet seats at like O'Hare Airport or Harold Washington Library, where they had a piece of plastic running around there, and you push the button, a new piece of plastic. Yeah, I installed those and fixed them and did whatever. So I had a ton of regular jobs that were working for somebody else, still while doing these other little things, because that was kind of my passion. It was kind of cool to do. Still not calling myself an entrepreneur. I'm obviously saying that very, very importantly, intently. Still wasn't thinking of myself as an entrepreneur. I was just, doing this work, still working my 9 to 5 or part-time, whatever it was. Then I ended up with a job at T-Mobile. When T-Mobile first came to the Illinois market in the United States, or United States in general, they were called VoiceStream. Not sure if anybody remembers that. It was called VoiceStream. So a very good friend of mine, Jamil Harris, he another very dear guy to me. He was a manager there, and he's like, "Hey, man, we need some help doing some work, whatever, yada yada yada, whatever." That became my last kind of ish job or whatever. And super long story short, I was working there, whatever. One day we were 1 month or a couple months, we got a new manager, new district manager. And everybody was like, "Oh wow, you got this guy, he's very tricky, whatever." So super long story short, drove in one day, my wife dropped me off, she was heading back home. I walked in, and he was like, "You're not going to meet your quota today, so you're fired." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you've got, I don't know, 10 lines or however many lines I had to get that day." And he was like, "You're fired." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what? How am I fired?" He said, "Well, you're not gonna get it. Hold on 1 second." And that was it. I called my wife. I said, "Hey, baby, turn right back around. I just got fired." And that was hard. Now I still was doing these other little jobs, but that was my job. T-Mobile was my job. That was my bulk of my pay or whatever. And I was like, "Whoa, that's it." Went home. My wife and I mean, we had a little bit of money saved up. My wife and I told her, I said, "Hey, what if I start this whole thing and just being on my own?" And again, I don't remember calling it an entrepreneurship journey. I was just like, "What do you say I just do this stuff on my own? Really focus on the sound work, really focus on the video work, really focus on, all the stuff that I'm doing." Because I wasn't doing photography at the time. It was just sound and video. I said, "Are you okay with that?" And she was like, "Sure. Okay, I'll stick it out with you." And it was not easy. I'm gonna talk in this mic a little louder. It was not easy. Lights was cut off, no heat. It was tricky, but my wife stuck with me. We trooped it out, push forward, push forward, push forward, push forward, and I'm very grateful that all these many years now I'm doing very well, and I'm quite grateful. But so I say all that to say this, or to start off to say this: when you're thinking about entrepreneurship or your life or whatever it is that you want to do that you're passionate about, you can always do it and push forward with it while you have a job. They always say after 7 o'clock, or I shouldn't say they always say, but I've heard people say that after 7 o'clock and Saturdays and Sundays is an entrepreneurship life while you have your 9 to 5. But you have to push forward and continue to push and push and push to do that, to make it happen. It can be extremely tiring. Now, we didn't have any children. I didn't have any other obligations. That was just it. And it was hard enough for me to do that, let alone people who have families and people they need to take care of and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is 100% worth it. If you have any idea of being an entrepreneur or any idea of what you can do for yourself as a business and help others and make money from it, absolutely nothing should stop you from doing that. When we think about, you in 1 year, think about how they're talking about that, what knowledge do you have as an entrepreneur to help other people? What's the thing that you can talk about if you just meet somebody and someone, what do we always do? We're going to a networking event or a party, or you're just somewhere and you're like, hey, so what do you do? And you just talk about it, or you see something, let's say it's sports, or there's a game on for the fellas. I am not a sports guy by any stretch of the imagination, but for the fellas, if you're somewhere and you talk about you're talking to some guys and you start commenting on some type of a sports thing or what's currently going on in sports, or for ladies, if there's something, whether it's whether it's entertainment, whether it's fashion, whether it's hair, makeup, any type of cosmetology, or some type of financial stuff, whatever it is that you can potentially talk about without having a script, without having a bunch of notes in front of you, that you can just talk off the top of your head, that can be what your knowledge can be focused on in your entrepreneurship field. So let me cut to this. If you can, I would like you, please, in the chat, go ahead and put in just some of the topics what is your knowledge base? When you're thinking about going into some type of entrepreneurship, you're thinking about talking about doing something here. What is it that what is your topic? Whether it's finance, whether it's taxes, I'm just looking in my room. People who clean. I have this lady who I know who does a lot of cleaning, and she posts these videos on how to clean certain things. It's the coolest thing, and she has some pretty good topics and captions too. So if you wouldn't mind, everybody, I don't know, Nikki or Wanda, Coriata, Cynthia, Quilla, Frida, whoever iPhone is, you didn't want to put your name in. iPhone, you don't want to put your name is. I don't know if it's Janet or Jeanette, Jackie. So please put in the chat what it is. I'm sorry.
iPhone is me, Carl.
Oh, iPhone is you. Okay. Let's put in the chat what it is that you do, what it is that you want to understand about entrepreneurship in whatever field that you're doing. Because sometimes we don't necessarily think that we can be an entrepreneur or that we can live that lifestyle. One of the things that she has on here, okay, thank you, custom design like what? For interior design, for clothes, for what, Laverne? But just like, for example, on You in 1 year, I love this little statement. She says, everybody who says they want to be their own boss won't. And I've got my own little thing about bosses and stuff like that, which I'll touch on in a few minutes. Okay, so Quilla's got resume, LinkedIn cover letters. Okay, that's good. That's real good. Oh, interior design. Perfect, Laverne. That's great. So when you arts, directing, acting, and parenting, that's great. What you want to think about is, if I was to ask you right now, if I was to say, okay, I'm done talking, and I just said, if I went to T Walker, who just put in catering, and then Coriata put writing, if I asked T Walker to start right now saying, okay, I need you to give me 60 seconds of what it is that you do about your catering. Do you have that lined up? Not do you have a special script in mind, but do you have enough content or enough knowledge base to be able to talk for 60 seconds straight on whatever that is? Now, most of you may already know where I'm going with that whole 60 seconds. That's your elevator pitch. That's been a term forever and ever and ever and ever. Your elevator pitch. Or like when you go on, you go on Shark Tank. When you're on Shark Tank, you've got just a few seconds to really intrigue them. Now, you have more than 60 seconds to make your discussion, to make your presentation. But like those first 60 seconds or those first, whatever time, you have to grab somebody or you're going to lose them. Our attention spans are just like crazy. Like even myself, I have issues with TikTok. I'm addicted. Okay. So like, as I'm just swiping and I'm swiping, if it ain't good, you got like 2 seconds, 1 second really. But when you're thinking about entrepreneurship and you're talking to someone, what is it you have that information that you could just spit off? And that's the type of content that you want to potentially think about being as your field of expertise that you can make income from by making a video about it, by blogging about it, by creating all this content about your field and pushing it out to the masses. Cynthia, real estate investment. Frida is fitness. Okay, Jeanette, baked goods. Now I got a real issue with sweets. I mean, real. Are you in Chicago? Where you at? Let me know where you are. Sheila's got event planning. Okay, Nikki's got event planning and design too. Okay, so yeah, so all these topics are, if you go to Jeanette, okay, yes I am. Okay, we're gonna talk, girl. Well, I'm gonna see your website, see your stuff. All of this content, every single thing that I'm seeing on here, if you go to YouTube and type in any of these topics, you're going to get so many videos of people just talking about it. Now, you're going to see some videos that are really creative, and you're going to see some videos where someone's just talking, maybe at a chair, right? So I'm in my studio. I've got a ring light right up here. I've got a microphone right here, and then just my camera's right there. And then I'm huge on content. So my cell phone is recording right there too. So this camera is recording me horizontally, and my cell phone is recording me vertically. But I'm just in my this is just my desk in my studio, refrigerator. This is the dressing room right behind me, but I'm just in my studio. So I could be talking about something, and I don't necessarily have to have, a photo shoot going on right now or a video shoot going on. Whatever it is that you're able to talk about and how you're doing it, just start practicing. Just start practicing. What else we got in here? Real estate investing, sunglasses and storage containers, shadesofjoy.com. Okay, that's interesting. Sunglasses and storage containers. But so what you want to do is determine how that can happen to get you on your entrepreneurship journey. I'm rattling. Let me go back to my notes, get back to where I was. Okay, so I told you about the story. Started off getting fired. That I was doing. I asked you to put your knowledge base in there. That's good. That's good. I already talked about that. All right, great. All right, so when we talk about technology, technology or bridging the gap. So a lot of people, or one of the other reasons that people may not go into entrepreneurship or think they can go into entrepreneurship is because, maybe they're a little older than most people. All these millennials are doing this. And before I say millennials, so millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, or whatever, I don't know any of those years. I don't know any of those years. Look, I came along when the movie Baby Boom was coming on. So I don't even know what year a baby boomer was. But anyway, so you want to be thinking about, just because all these younger people are doing it or whatever the age demographic is, doesn't mean that you can't, if you think you're beyond that point. The fact that you are right now on this Zoom, whether I see your picture or I see your face or not, the fact that you're on a Zoom means you can do technology. Whether you're on your phone, a camera, I've got a laptop. Well, I'm not using a laptop as a video camera, but whatever you're doing it, that one part of technology is done. You can do it. So that's great. So no more technology issues, all right? No more technology hindrances. It can be done. That's the one step of it. Then you have to determine, okay, if I'm going to be recording myself, obviously I need to edit it. Well, that's some things that we can talk about as well. What you want to start thinking about, don't be so concerned about the technology. Don't be so concerned about what you can't do. Focus first on what you can do. And man, everybody at UN 1 Year can help you, get to those points that you need to be going. And we can always do that. I'll be helping you out too, Phyllis. I'll be helping you out too with that. So if we can get all this credit together. All right, so that's the one thing that you want to be thinking about. So the first thing that I tell people so what do we always say, when you're in a marketing meeting or you're in some kind of, you have a brainstorming session, right? You literally just write out so many different things if you don't already have some type of a, layout written. So that's what I tell people. If you want to do something in your field, just start bulleting or making some bullet points of what it is that you want to talk about. All right, let me scroll up to here. So event planning. So Nikki Walsh, event planning and design. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to do birthday parties, baby reveals, weddings, any type of an event? There could be so many different things. Well, list all those things out and then determine what you can discuss or topics to help people out on per those situations or per those things. It's not that, you have to always have like this full blown out 30-minute discussion or a 30-minute video on YouTube or on Facebook or even Instagram to get that content out. It can be super, super quick, super, super quick. I remember when Instagram only gave us 15 seconds for a video. When I say that was challenging for me, that was challenging. But I still look back. I mean, literally, I still like just last month or a couple months ago, I was looking at some of my old 15-second videos to see how well I was able to make a 15-second video and make it hot and still have the client, be happy like, wow, you really got all that content in 15 seconds. Because our mind, our mind just is moving so fast. So start to list out different things that you can do. I'm sure you've seen on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, well, realtors do this all the time. Those 4 steps that you need to learn before buying your first house, or those 10 things to look for when you go into some property to determine what it is. You can create all that type of content, and make money from it and become a knowledge entrepreneur. Those things are already in your head. They're already in your head. So don't let it be that there should be nothing hindered. Like one of the things that they have on here also, what do we have? Excuse number 1, no money. Excuse number 2, no experience. Excuse number 3, fear of failure. We got to get rid of all those things, because as an entrepreneur, the moment you become an entrepreneur, I ain't trying to cuss, but you are bad. You bad. You good. You great, because not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Oh, let me talk about my whole boss thing. So I'm not sure how many of you know about Clubhouse. So I'm on Clubhouse here and there, and I'm on. Hold on. So I'm thinking of, bosses, right? We're in a club. We're in a clubhouse room for entrepreneurship, and we're talking about that. Well, my take has, and this has been for years, people always say, I want to fire my boss. So when I was at T-Mobile or Sam Ash Music or White Glove Cleaning, that was the cleaning company I was with. It's like, man, I want to fire my boss. I want to do my own thing. So, when I was doing sound systems, I was like, okay, I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of this boss. Well, when you have a 9 to 5, you typically may have one boss, or you may have a director or a supervisor or the president or vice president, whatever. You have, 2 and 3 bosses potentially, but you have that one, direct report or direct supervisor, whatever you want to call it. Well, when you become an entrepreneur, you're going to get rid of that one boss or 2 bosses or whatever, and you're about to gain 100 bosses, because those people who are now taking your money, who are taking your product and you're giving them their money, you're taking their money. I'm sorry, let me reverse that. Those people who you're taking their money, they paying you. They are kind of, sort of, to a certain extent, your boss. Now, does that mean that they're going to be a bad boss per se? No. But the reason I want you to think of it like that is because your mindset will change once you realize that just because I'm not necessarily firing a boss, I'm just kind of shifting bosses to what you decide that you want to do. If you let's see who we have up here. Oh, let's go to the fitness. So Frida's in fitness. If Frida, was Frida the one who is currently working out? If you can, just let me know how long you've been in fitness. Are you a personal trainer, physical trainer, whatever? Let me know in the chat for me. But let's talk about that fitness, okay? So my wife and my wife's name is Yolanda. So Yolanda and I go to the gym. We work out with a personal trainer 3 days a week. Now, we have no problems with our trainer. We love our trainer. But if we decided to, let's say if we decided to come in and just be like, hey, well, I don't feel like doing what you told me to do. I'm paying you, but I don't feel like doing that. And he's trying to get me on a fitness journey, but I'm not doing what he's telling me to do because he is the expert. Well, if he wanted to be like, you know what, I'm not going to train you no more. So within fitness, she says, "Hello, in the gym right now. I'm a veteran. Fitness has really been my life." Well, you didn't want to say how long, huh? What veteran mean? Let me know how long. I want to know how long you've been doing fitness. All right. Because you look pretty young in that photo. So when you think about your job, so if she had some trouble making clients, she could decide, you know what, I'm not going to train you anymore. If she does meal plans, you give someone a meal plan and they don't follow it, so they're not losing any weight. Or you give them a meal plan and a workout regimen, and they might be eating properly, but they're not toning up. They may be losing some weight, but they're not firming their muscle up. So what are they not doing? So as an entrepreneur, it's almost kind of cool to be able to decide who your boss is or who your clients are. So I'm going to stop saying bosses now, but I really wanted you to get that understanding that in a lot of instances, just because you fire your boss from 9 to 5, you're going to end up gaining potentially a bunch of other bosses in that respect, that they're giving you money and you kind of need to do, you have to do what they say. Now, you do it within your own tolerance though. So definitely don't look at it as a negative thing. I love all my bosses. You want to know what? You know, the best thing I love about all my bosses is that when I do a great job, they give me more bosses. And that's what you want. You want more clients. Now, if you look at them that way, like, hey, you know what? That's my boss. Yeah. When you had a 9 to 5, or you still have a 9 to 5, you want to please your boss. And I ain't talking about no step and fetch it kind of, master slave kind of thing. It's like, hey, I want to make sure my boss is happy, because when I'm done, they will most likely keep me on board when it's time for my evaluations, whatever. She's 35, join the, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you were a veteran, meaning you've been in the fitness business for a minute. That's what I thought you meant. I'm so sorry. Thank you for your service. I did not know that you meant like literally a veteran that's in the armed services. But okay, but tell me, how long are you like in fitness now, or are you a personal trainer? There is a reason I'm getting into this. I'm sorry. Let's go back to this. So when you think about, what you want to do for your business, if you take any type of job that you've got and determine how can I work for myself and not have to report directly to somebody, or here's the beauty of it, you can tell that person when your product will be available. Now, for someone like catering, that was a little different. Who is catering? Catering. T Walker. So T Walker for catering. Obviously, if someone's having an event, you've got to meet that deadline. But like for myself, when I do video and photography, like I just shot somebody. I was just shooting some video before, like an hour or so before I came here. Well, I told her, say, hey, I'm gonna be leaving out of town. Oh, that's another thing. Because I have to go out of town tomorrow. So I told her I'm leaving out of town, but I'm taking your hard drive with me. I'll be able to get to a little bit of it at the end of this week, and then after next week is when I'll get her content back. So let me real quick sidetrack. We were supposed to be going out of town. I'm in Chicago. Again, I'm not exactly sure where everybody is. We were supposed to be, my wife and I were going to Dallas on Friday. Well, we found out that there's some potential storms coming in Thursday night and Friday. So when we look, we're flying on Southwest. I love me some Southwest. We got these alerts on our phones or through the email through our Southwest account that because of the weather, it may be affecting us. Well, I told my wife right then and there, hey, you want to leave early? Want a couple of days early? So we were going to try for Thursday. Then come to find out there was some stuff coming in potentially Thursday afternoon or evening. So I said, you know what? Hey, you want to leave Wednesday? And guess what? Did I have to call anybody? Thankfully, I did not. Did I have to try to go to a supervisor or my boss to get some time off early? No, I did not. And I was grateful for that. So that's another key example to that. When you are an entrepreneur and you have your own time, a lot of times you're able to determine what you can do with it. You can let your clients know. Now, if you are in good standing with your clients, that is very, very important. If you are in good standing with your clients, you're most likely not going to have an issue. I had 2 photo shoots scheduled for tomorrow. And I called them. Well, the second person never confirmed. So I was fine. I ain't going to call her. If she don't call me, we're good. She didn't confirm. But the first person who did, I called him and said, hey, you know what? These snowstorms are coming in. My wife and I have to leave tomorrow. I'll schedule you when I come back. And she was fine with it. No problem. Why? Because I have a good standing with her. You want to be thinking about, as an entrepreneur, been working for myself on and off for 2020 as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna get you all squared away, Frida. When you think about entrepreneurship, you want to think about, this is my opinion. Oh, by the way, I always try to say in the very beginning, everything I'm talking about is my opinion. I am not 100% correct on everything. I do not have a degree in entrepreneurship. I do not have a degree in business management, whatever. I'm not a marketing person, whatever. All this is my opinion. I meant to say that in the very, 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 very beginning. So in entrepreneurship, customer service is extremely important. Extremely important. Did I say that? Extremely important. When my wife and I got married, we've been married 21 years. We got married, our honeymoon, we went to the Ritz-Carlton Virgin Islands, and everybody there said, "My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure." When you said thank you, they said, "My pleasure." No one said no one said you're welcome. It was always my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. And since then, I just caught on with that. So it's always been my pleasure to help my clients, even the troublemakers. Because the troublemakers, I then determine if I'm going to keep them on as a client and the rate that I'm going to potentially increase on said client. Because in custom, if I already know I'm doing the best I can in customer service, I'm taking care of every single aspect of it. And when I screw up, when I tell you I grip real hard. If I've made a mistake on something, I'll be the first person to apologize and the first person to do whatever it is I can to do to make it up. I've given away more free shoots because of screw ups than you care to believe, because I'm not perfect at all by, ask my wife. I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I do the absolute very best that I can in every situation. I can say for 20, and I literally just counted this just the other day because I was talking to one of my mentees, one of the young men who I kind of work with. For in 20 years, 25 years, however, for entrepreneurship, I do not have more than 10 major issues. Of those 10, maybe five of them was a catastrophe screw up, not an intentional one. I have never intentionally screwed over anybody over because that's just not in me. My mom and daddy wouldn't have that. So nothing, never intentional, but just major screw ups. And all of those, most likely, again, I don't remember times and dates very well. All of them had to be in the very beginning because I was still learning. You know, when you have someone who's been doing something for a long time, that's often the reason why their rates can be so high. My photo shoots start at $575. My video shoots typically start at $1,000. Now, there are a lot of people who are doing things much less than I am, but it's my experience and my know-how that denotes that rate. And people hire me or they don't. The main reason that they do hire me is so they don't have to think about anything. When I'm on set somewhere, whether it's a photo shoot or a video shoot, you almost don't have to worry about anything, because even if something does go wrong, my experience is going to allow me to make it so that you don't even know something happened. So let's take that same thing for you as a caterer, as an event designer, as a real estate planning, sunglasses, you know, as anything, real estate investment, baked goods, writing, as any of those things. Your experience is going to be what's going to potentially set you apart, but it's also going to be your customer service and how you deliver it. What do we always say about restaurants? Why do some people not go to McDonald's or not go to Burger King or Harold's Chicken? Oh no, if you're in Chicago, everybody always got this certain Harold's Chickens that we don't go to, and then we have our favorites, right? You know, so obviously, now, it's my opinion, one of the best Harold's Chickens used to be on 87th and the Dan Ryan. You know, they closed, but 87th and Dan Ryan, that was one of the best Harold's Chicken. And then there's some other Harold's Chickens that we just don't want to go to. Why? Customer service or the food ain't that great. So you want to make sure that you are setting yourself apart for whatever it is that you are doing. So when it comes down to, again, as a knowledge, whatever your knowledge is, as a knowledge entrepreneur, determining how you can say, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to deliver it. Now, if you need to get someone to help you with that, you know, hey, do some searches on Facebook. I'm always doing searches on Facebook, trying to find people for this. I had to find a hibachi restaurant. We ended up going somewhere else because some of the recommendations ended up not being so great. But I did a search on Facebook for that. But again, when it comes down to whatever it is that you want to be doing for your entrepreneurship, for your information that you've got locked in here, that so many people need to know and would be willing potentially to pay for, we just have to determine how to get all that info from here, get it into some computer, some video, some written out. So, you know, some people don't like being on video, right? Just do an audio blog. You know, there's video blogs and there's audio blogs, or I'm sorry, podcasts. You can do it in so many different ways. Just don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything stop you. How long do I have? I know I've been rattling and talking.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. We don't 5 minutes before questions. Should I start taking questions now? Anybody got any questions? Because I can keep talking now. if you have any questions in the chat, how do you want to do that? Or you want me to just, or you know what? Let me do my closeout. Can I do my closeout, Phyllis?
Yes.
Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, great.
All right. There is absolutely nothing that you can't do. Absolutely nothing. It may be difficult. You may have to do a lot of research. You may have to learn something that you didn't want to learn or didn't even think you had to learn. But there's absolutely nothing you can't do. You know why so many young people, and I never know, I don't know the ages, I didn't do the research. Well, I did some research on it, but don't know all the specifics. There are so many, 20-year-olds who are millionaires because of technology. You know why? Because they were born in this era. That's just how it is. There's like some of the young guys who I'm working with, they are blowing me out the water in some of the ways they do their shots, which is why I hired them, which is why I got them on my team. So my age where I'm at, got me kind of phased out in certain things that I brought people on to help me. So if there are things that you think you can't do, or that you're even aware that you can't, or you're having some struggles in, find people to help you. That's what's most important. Don't let anything ever stop you from whatever it is that you want to do. If there's a job you want to pursue or an entrepreneurship career that you want to pursue, just go forward in it. Don't stop by any circumstances. My wife got me this t-shirt that said, never give up, only pull up. I wear it to the gym often. So it's like, if there's any reason that you think you might fall down or think you won't, just take that leap. Life is going to be, life is going to be hard either way. Just choose your hard. Because at one point, it will definitely become a lot easier. You will enjoy your life potentially a lot more. Just don't give up. Okay. How do you can I answer this question real quick?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So
Well
here we
said.
go.
So much.
I'm sorry?
I said very well said. Thank you so much. Don't give up. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, so Frida's got the first question. What advice would you give to a new entrepreneur starting out? Okay, so I'm gonna make it general, and then I'll potentially just focus on you, as in fitness. Hold on. So you said you're not a trainer, but do you want to be a trainer? Real quick. So real quick, what do you want to be? Is it okay for her just to talk instead of chat real quick? So Frida, if you're not on the treadmill real quick, can you just talk real quick? Just talk to me real quick. Do you want to be a personal trainer, or what are you interested in? Okay, no worries. All right. So an advice to, I see the other questions. An advice to start any new entrepreneur starting out. In a lot of respects, based upon what you're doing, you're gonna have to do a lot of stuff for free. You are. The reason I say that is because you have to get you have to build up a track record. You're gonna have to determine what it is that you can get to, even if it's your friends, people who you don't mind giving some free stuff to. You have to build some type of a track record for whatever it is. So if that is what you want to do, no, we're not able to hear you. I see that you're unmuted though, but I don't see anything blink. I didn't see anything blinking. Now I see it's muted. No, it's not. No, yeah, I see it's muted again. Go ahead and just type it in if you want. That's fine. So entrepreneurs for the very first time. You typically have to start off doing a whole bunch of stuff for free to build that track record. When I wanted to do the photography thing, I did about 10 free photo shoots. I called someone who I recently met on Facebook, she had a really big following on Facebook. I said, hey, I need 10 people over the course of 2 days. It was a Saturday and Sunday or Friday, Saturday, excuse me, to talk about, for me to give some free photo shoots too. Because I needed some pictures. If I'm gonna say I'm doing photography, what photos do I have? I had to do 10 free photo shoots. So like for Frida, if that's what you're interested in getting into with regards to personal training or even our meal plans or whatever, you've got to get some people who you can train, even if you don't have, because you don't necessarily typically have, you know, there's all the different things, 30 to 90 days to try to wait for, results to have someone come. But if you have someone that you can give some training to, take some pictures of you training them, show their strength and stuff like that. If it's meal plans, giving some examples of some meal plans. You just got to get some free content out there so you can get some kind of track record for that. And that's for any type of entrepreneurship. If you want to do something, sometimes, not all the times, you got to do some stuff for free just to get that content, to get that portfolio going there. Student entrepreneur, Aquila.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I am not trying to be a personal trainer. I just wanted to start with my fitness line. My dad passed away from cancer this year. So he's been a big fitness person all his life, and he had us in fitness pretty much all of our lives. So it was really modeled after him, which I wanted to, do some charity events, give back to multiple myeloma, which was a blood cancer that he had. But I also didn't want to just stick it to a fitness clothing line. I wanted to do, of course, fitness equipment, supplements, actually get myself a gym, build a foundation, be able to give back and do scholarships as well, since he was an outdoorsman. So really it was just modeled after his life. And since fitness was the way that we bonded, I wanted to basically do all things fitness, but I know I can't start off so broad. I have to start off with something to get in the gate and then later build my foundation.
Okay. All right. So then what I would say then, if it's a product line, then kind of the same thing, getting some people in your clothes, whether it's your friends, family, whatever, get some people in your clothes, get some pictures on them. Okay. Now can we all agree, again, it's my opinion. Can we all agree that social media is the best free thing right now since sliced bread, as they want to say? It is free. People will tell me, I've had clients call me up or talk to me, send me text messages. Man, this algorithm is messing me up. First thing I ask them, is you paying for Instagram? Are you paying for Facebook? You paying for anything? And then shut up. It's free. Figure out what you got to do with the algorithm and make it work. It's free. So that being said, it is the easiest thing just to make pictures and take. These cell phones right now are absolutely amazing. Now, I'm an iPhone guy all day, but iPhone, Android is still going to be an amazing technology that you've got, that you can take a picture of yourself and post it for free. For free. Did I say that? It's free. 100% free. So that's what I would say, Frida. Get some pictures, get your t-shirt line. And I'm not talking about coming into necessarily a studio to get a photo shoot. I mean, just take some pictures with your cell phones, go outside. Outside is the best natural light you can possibly have. And that outside light is free. It's 100% free. So that's what I would say for you to do that. When it comes down to helping people with their fitness journey or stuff like that, again, I would potentially start a YouTube channel for it or a podcast. Record yourself a bunch of times on your phone, 5-minute segments, 2-minute segments, whatever, fitness, you can even make something, fitness in 30 seconds. Do you know if you run up and down some stairs, you can burn X amount of calories? Give some people some tidbits to do that they can always come to you to get that information and get that knowledge. That helps build up your subscribership. All right. Aquila, how do you overcome the fear of you putting yourself out there on social media? Ooh-wee. Man, oh man, that's a big one. Now, I clearly have no issues of talking and getting out there on social media, obviously, right? So what I would say to someone in that respect, you have to determine if it's not going to be you, who is it going to be? If you need to get a spokesperson because you're not comfortable being on the camera, then you have to do something where we do something. There's this website called it's Doodly. Well, there's a whole bunch of them that you can just like whiteboards where you can have, some content just being like, written on the screen for different content. Or if you, I'm sorry, side note. There are so many, I'm always on YouTube University. Love YouTube University. When I was coming up, we didn't have no YouTube. I had to read books and figure all this stuff out on my own. Y'all got YouTube now, or we all got YouTube now. I can't say y'all, we all got YouTube. On YouTube, there are so many times when I'm looking at a video, there is not one person talking. They are literally just having the information of how to do this video or how to do this software, and nobody's on the screen. It's just somebody talking. So if there is something that you've got, you have to determine, how can I deliver this content without being on screen, or find somebody else to do it. I had a lady here who's a fashion, she has her own clothing line, and she did not want to be well, I had two different people. One person, she did not want to be in the picture, so she got a bunch of models and they became her spokesmodel, her spokespeople. I had another client here who was a boutique owner. She had some people, but she preferred to be herself, so she didn't use them anymore. So it's all a question of determining how you can get out there, how you can get your content out there without necessarily having to be seen, and finding somebody, or just doing like audio podcasts where people don't have to be seen. Per se for that. Any info on content creating and YouTube videos? Record yourself on record yourself on your cell phone. If you ain't got no money, I don't mean that negatively. If you don't have a budget for it, record yourself on your cell phone and upload it to YouTube and go from there. Try to use hashtags, searches, stuff like that. That's it. If you want to build up content, you just have to record it. That's it. And like I said about the previous thing, if you're concerned about yourself not being seen, then determine who else can do that for you. Customer service and delivery. Yes. So I'm so big on customer service. Like I do not believe that the customer is always right. I don't definitely that. But in general, the customer thinks that they're right, and it is up to you to determine how they are correct and how to correct them if they are not. That's really just what it boils down to. There are people who are going to try to tell you that, hey, you should be doing it this way, and because I'm paying you, that's that. The thing that I say all the time, I said, you are welcome to find somebody else. That's a reality.
Wonderful.
You are welcome to find somebody else. There are so many photographers, so many videographers that are doing all sorts of stuff, but what they are not doing is being Carl Russell Ankrum, because there ain't nobody doing it like me. That's 100% guarantee. I'm extremely confident in who I am and how I do it. Either you come to me for the results because you've seen my track record, you've seen my website, you've seen my content, you've seen whatever. If you're not going to listen to me as we're going, why are we even talking? Go find someone else who's gonna listen to you. It ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me.
Carl,
I'm sorry.
No, I was just thanking you.
Oh yeah, 100%. So customer service and delivery. Now here's what I deliver, like a product. Jeanette, what do you do? Let me scroll up.
And we're gonna make this the last question, Carl.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I'll say this too. So let me finish that. So, customer service and delivery. Apple, I love Apple. I'm Apple guy all day, every day. Now I am getting a PC built, which is kind of crazy, but yes, I'm Apple all day. One of the things that I noticed from Apple back, what was it? I think it was an iPod. When the first iPad that had no colors, had no screen, it just had a little dial, When the iPod first came out, I remember ordering one for my wife's mother, my mother-in-law. We ordered two for some reason. It might have been just my wife. When we saw the order come through, so hold on, what's it? So today's the 20th, okay? Oh, perfect. It's around Christmas. Let's say it was for Christmas. So let's say I ordered it I just pulled up my calendar. Let's say I ordered it on December 6th. The delivery said I was going to get on the 13th. 1 week, 7 days. But then 2 days later, we found out, the tracking number updated or whatever, and it said the 11th. No, it couldn't have been 11th. It was a Sunday. Well, no, I'm going to say the 10th. So we were like, wait a minute. We were supposed to get on the 13th, but we got it on the 10th. Boy, my wife and I were so happy. We were like, man, it's going to come 3 days early. Now, do you think Apple was just at the kindness of their heart, updated and sent it earlier? No. They projected out a longer date so that if it came early, we'd be happy. But if something happened and it happened to just come on the 13th, we would still be fine. Now, if they told us the 10th and it showed up on the 13th, we'd be pretty hot about them 3 days, wouldn't we? Because we had every expectation that it was coming on the 10th. So when it comes down to delivering a product or delivering any type of service, give yourself a little extra time.
Sure.
I always tell people photos are going to be back within 5 to 7 days. Now I know I can get them in 4 to 5 days, but I'm going to tell them 5 to 7 because if anything had happened, they want their photos. But if I tell them 4 to 5 days and it comes on the 7th day, Or even if now if it's the 8th day, they got a real big problem. But if I told them 5 to 7 and it comes on the 8th day, hey, I'm sorry, your photo's gonna be back tomorrow. Okay, 1 day extra, not too bad. So when it comes down to delivery, always try to give yourself a little extra time for anything to happen, because we know life happens. That's what we want to think about. I think that was
Absolutely.
it. All right.
Carl, thank you so much. We love your energy, man. Thank you so much for what you brought to